Imagine this. The head of one of PNG's biggest state-owned companies gets suspended, the police step in, tribes block the highway, and a governor calls it an insult to his entire province. Welcome to the drama unfolding at Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited. And trust me, it's a story worth unpacking. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the hottest and most controversial issues right now in Papua New Guinea. The suspension of Wapu Sonk, Managing Director of Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, and the chaos that has followed. Stick around because this one has drama, politics, tribal pride, police warnings, and even accusations of tampering with office locks, the suspension. So let's start from the top. The new board of KPHL, led by Chairman Governor William came out swinging. They announced that they were suspending Wapu Sonk as Managing Director and appointing Luke Leary as acting MD. Why? According to AOP, the suspension was all about good governance, ethics, and transparency. He explained that there had been way too much drama, lawsuits between the old board and the new board, disputes that went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and it was time to bring stability. The courts even confirmed that the old board's time had long expired. So, with their authority now solid, the new board's first big move was to suspend Sonk, saying he needed to clear up the cloud of allegations hanging over him. Sounds like a straightforward corporate move, right? Well, not quite, because things escalated fast. Police Commissioner Manning steps in. Enter Police Commissioner David Manning. He called a press conference and gave Sonk a strict order. Show up to the board by 4 o'clock and accept your suspension.
So, Mr. Wapu Sonk, you are expected and strongly advised to turn up to accept the suspension notice by the board, or the RPDC will assist in serving that suspension notice on you.
Why such urgency? Because the news of Sonk's suspension triggered unrest back in his home turf, Nipa, in the Southern Highlands. Tribesmen blocked the highway in protest, disrupting public travel, and Manning wasn't having it. He reminded everyone, and Sonk in particular, that no one is above the law. He said Sonk is a private citizen, and if he wants to challenge the suspension, he has the courts available. But what he can't do is run around ignoring lawful directions or encouraging chaos. Manning even warned that if Sonk failed to front up, the police, with help from the PNG Defence Force, would step in. And to spice things up even more, Manning also revealed that Sonk allegedly changed the digital access locks at the KPHL offices. If true, that could amount to criminal offences like insubordination, perverting the course of justice. Yikes. Governor Powi weighs in. But the drama didn't end there. Southern Highlands. Governor William Powi jumped into the debate and made things even more political. He came out firing, calling the suspension of Sonk an insult to the people of Southern Highlands. In his words, Sonk isn't just a CEO. He's one of PNG's finest professionals, a faithful servant of the state, and a proud son of Nipa who has contributed massively to the PNG LNG project. Powi went further, saying the decision disrespected the province's contributions to the nation's economy, especially since the Southern Highlands, through landowner entities and the provincial government, hold a 4.27% equity stake in the LNG project. In other words, Powi framed the suspension not just as a corporate governance issue, but as a direct insult to his province and his people. The public's reaction. Now here's where it gets interesting. A lot of Papua New Guineans are not buying Powi's argument. Many are pointing out that KPHL is not a Southern Highlands company. It's a national company, owned by the state, on behalf of all the people of Papua New Guinea. So when Governor Powi turns it into a provincial pride issue, saying it's an insult to Southern Highlands, people are calling him out. They're saying this is childish, it's tribal favouritism, and it's not the way a national leader should respond to a corporate suspension. Think about it. KPHL runs multi-billion kina assets and manages PNG's interest in the LNG project. The stakes are national, not just regional. So reducing the suspension to a provincial insult really undermines the bigger picture. And that's what's fueling the debate right now. Is this about governance and accountability? Or is it being twisted into political and tribal loyalty? Here's my take. On one side, You've got the new board trying to make a statement about integrity and transparency. They're saying, look, we're serious about governance and we need to clear the air around Sonk. That's fair. On the other side, you've got a high-profile figure like Sonk, who obviously has influence and support back in his province. That's why his suspension immediately triggered protests. And then you've got Powi, who, instead of calming the situation, pours fuel on the fire by turning it into a Southern Highlands pride issue. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Manning is basically saying, enough of the games, just follow the process. This whole situation is like a clash of three forces. 1. Corporate governance versus internal politics. 2. Rule of law versus tribal loyalty. 3. National interest versus provincial pride. And the outcome of this power struggle will affect not just KPHL, but potentially PNG's international reputation in managing its resources. So here's my big question for you guys. Do you think the suspension of Wapu Sonk is really about transparency and cleaning up governance? Or do you think it's just another round of political manoeuvring and provincial favouritism? And what do you make of Governor Powi's reaction? Was he standing up for his people? Or was he being divisive and childish? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what PNG's people really think about this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns of the big stories shaping our country. Until next time, stay safe and stay engaged.